we are going to work on taking our papers out of our foundation paper pieced quilt. So this is the Live Well, Live Strong quilt, and we have been having a lot of fun putting this together. And we have made the 60 by 60 inch quilt right here. We have made some of these negative space ones with the Live Well, Live Strong quilt, which each one has a aspect. There's 26 quilt blocks. It's a sampler quilt, and each one has an aspect of health and wellness in it. And it's been a great thing to work on during the pandemic and to be focusing on, and as we are all rebuilding ourselves and getting back to a better life. So I designed a teeny tiny version because I've designed the pattern of the Live Well, Live Strong quilt pattern, but I thought it would be fun. Hello, Amanda. To actually make a tiny paper pieced version. So you can see that we assembled this together with foundation paper piecing. I have some of my individual blocks over there. Maybe I should pull those out. But what we are going to work on today is how to pick your papers out of your Live Well, Live Strong foundation paper piecing quilt. So often you'll see the acronym for quilting of FPP. So and that stands for foundation paper piecing. So, and that is how we made these. So let me go ahead. Hello to Linda. It's so good to see you guys. Let me switch the camera. So we're going to switch the camera because we're going to mainly work right here. And we've got the Live Well, Live Strong quilt right here. And I have a little camera on my face so that you can go ahead and see how I'm talking about this and see how I'm doing this. Now I'm going to use a couple different tools. I'm going to use like a pair of tweezers. I'm going to use a seam ripper. I'm going to use several different things to go ahead and get my papers out of the back of the foundation paper pieced quilt. So let me go ahead and show you. Let me grab just really fast. I'm going to grab for you guys. I have additional ones of these quilt blocks because we've made lots of them, haven't we? So this is something that I purchased on Amazon, are these little zipper pouches. And with those little zipper pouches, I go ahead and I store some of my quilting projects in it. It's just something that you can easily purchase on Amazon. And they come in a whole huge variety of sizes. And the one thing I love about these little packages is that they're see-through. So I can see what I've stored in there. So the foundation paper piecing is we are actually stitching on paper, and we've done a series on each one of these, a tutorial on each one of these different quilt blocks, and you can see where I've marked the different colors of the fabric just in case some of you guys are new to foundation paper piecing. So you always keep your papers in your quilt block until you have your entire quilt top completed. Amanda, I know Amanda took out her papers. So, and I know if Liz is here, it'd be fun to see what tips you guys did. Liz, have you taken your papers out of your quilt top yet? So Amanda, share. Hi, Linda. It's so fun to see you today. Yeah, this is a really, I just think this is a fun, masterful project to work on. So these are other additional ones. And you can see as you sew them together, you always keep your papers in the quilt blocks as you assemble them together, okay? So then, once you have your entire foundation paper piecing, and this is what I use is like a newsprint paper, you can see right here. And I use this newsprint to print off the pattern and then to sew this. And it's just a lighter quality of paper. So let me go ahead and set that aside, but that gives all of you guys a foundation of what we're working on. And if you purchase the Live Well, Live Strong pattern right now, you get with the pattern the foundation paper piecing quilt, but you also get the twin, the king, the queen, and the full, all of those different options. So, okay, so I have some of these, what do you call this tool right here, you guys? I use them as tweezers, but I also use them when I'm sewing to like thread my serger or things like that. And I think is it called a hemostat? It's like a medical tool. So I always use some of these. A pair of tweezers works great too. So let's go ahead and start. I have been wanting to work on this for so long. And I think I'm actually going to record this part of the video because I would like to show a video of the process of how we go ahead and get this done. So here we have our quilt top, the 26 different quilt blocks. And they go, this is our strength quilt block and shine quilt block. So let's get to picking these out. Kathleen, she says she uses tweezers. Have patience. I did use the seam ripper and tweezers to remove the paper. I also want to show you, there were times that my paper tore. And so whenever my paper tore, I did add a little bit of tape to it. And you can actually do that and not have a problem with your foundation paper piecing project. And it will stay intact. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to just kind of easily tear this out. This was one of the very first blocks. Now I want to show you, because this right here is regular copy paper, and over here, and these tanner ones are these were some of our very first sample blocks that we made of this quilt. But over here you can see are is the newsprint paper. So you're going to have an easier time with the newsprint paper. The other thing that's going to help you guys, what helps as you pull the papers out? Give all of your tips and tricks, but one of the things that helps is using a small stitch length. So you want to use that super small stitch length as you're going through it. So you can see this is kind of, I'm loosening it up right in here. Okay. And this 24 by 24 inch quilt, so this is teeny tiny paper piecing. The teeny tiny paper piecing is actually something kind of really new in quilting and something fun where you're making teeny tiny little things. And I'm going to hand quilt this sample, and we're going to go over some different hand quilting and hand stitching or hand quilting techniques. So we're going to do some big slow stitching. And so I just kind of loosen it up. You can see I'm loosening that up. The other thing I do is I come up here and I'm going to go ahead and massage this and kind of break up some of that paper and kind of get some movement on the block. And you can see as we do this that it's all coming out. And it just takes a little bit of time. This is when you can turn on a good movie, a good podcast, a good tutorial online as you're sitting here, attend a family event with your family, and go ahead and pull all of these out so that then you can just enjoy yourself as you're doing it. I think it's really kind of fun. Foundation paper piecing, gosh, in the old days, they do this with muslin. And you can back your fabrics with muslin. You can do it so many different ways, but it definitely works. And you just kind of go ahead and use a seam ripper. So Amanda says she used a 1.8 stitch length. And yes, using the smallest stitch length you possibly can. And as your foundation paper piecing is something. Linda says, I have long nails, so it's easier to grab the paper, and the newsprint makes a difference. I agree with you. I have always had really short nails, and my nails are like saran wrap, you guys. I mean, they're just like saran wrap. They're really soft fingernails. I know that's just so silly to mention, but yeah, if you have really good, nice, strong fingernails. Corey has got really nice, hard, strong fingernails, but that is not me. So I'm going to just go ahead and loosen this up a little bit in there, massage it so that the paper is kind of moving. And so when you move this around, you can see that it kind of tears the paper just a little bit. So let's go ahead. I mean, these are lots of different little pieces in here. So this is how you remove your paper. So keep all of your paper in your quilt blocks as you are going along, and then just kind of pull these out as you are coming, once you have the complete quilt top done of this. So it does take time, and I'm going to go in here, and you can see I've got a little bit of fibers of the paper right here. So this is something where I'm going to want to make sure I get some of those little tiny fibers off. So you can see right there, okay? And right over here, I'm going to go ahead and kind of pull those fibers off and scratch it just a bit, but not compromise my stitching, which these are very small stitches. So you can see. Let's see here. Hello, Victor. How are you today? And how is everybody else doing? It is such a beautiful day here in Salt Lake. Definitely a spring day. I can hear all the birds outside. I've got my back patio door open, and it just feels so good to hear the birds and everything moving, and new life coming about and all of those things. So it just feels so hopeful right now. So, okay, you guys, I am going to get busy today and do the nitty gritty of getting all of the papers out of here. I won't do this for a super long time on the camera, but I definitely wanted to have you guys see how to do this. Places where you have your tape, the same thing, you're going to go ahead and just pull this out and go ahead and bring that across and bring the stitching across too. So, it works out really just fine anywhere you are. Usually we just use Scotch tape. This one we were desperate and we used some packing tape right there. So this tape is a little bit stronger than the normal Scotch tape that I'll use, so that I can still press it and feel comfortable with everything. So you guys, anyways, I'm so excited. I cannot. Oh, Victor said he finished another quilt top. He did one yesterday. So let's go ahead and switch the camera back over to the front view. So I am going to go ahead and keep removing all of my papers from the Live Well, Live Strong foundation paper piece quilt. And this one is just 24 inches by 24 inches. So the entire quilt top is only this big. Isn't that just amazing? Just amazing, isn't it? In fact, I want to count how many pieces are in this little quilt top within 2 feet of each other. So I am going to keep picking away here, enjoying myself and listening to the birds chirp out there. I might even go out on my back patio and pick away using my various tools to go along. So you guys have a great day. I'll be back on Friday at noon for another live video. We're going to finish up the quilting of the other 60 by 60 inch. That's this one that's full size. And then we're going to be we're going to square it up. I'm going to show you how to square up your quilt tops. And then we're going to be doing our binding too. So anyways, can't wait to hear everything that you are doing. And remember, the Live Well, Live Strong quilt is at stitchesquilting.com. And you guys, I just love seeing you guys so much. And you guys definitely brighten my day and everything else. So have a great one. We'll see you later. Ta-ta for now.